citizens, we urge the people of Zimbabwe to take action and speak publicly without fear or reservations on this unconstitutional move to amend the local document which they heavily invested in as well as waited for more than 3 decades. We reiterate our position that we are prepared to defend the Constitution of Zimbabwe, democratic tenets without fear or favor, and we will mobilize citizens and other non-state actors to reject attempts at reverting Zimbabwe to the days of the Lancaster House Constitution. Thank you.
Thank you, Vice Chairperson, for reading out the statement. I will now give colleagues time to add to the statement before I welcome questions from members of the fourth staff.
Okay, maybe just to reiterate and buttress that if indeed the government has the capacity to start amending the Constitution right now, why can't they start implementing the Constitution, the 2013 Constitution, and realigning the 43 remaining laws according to the Constitution? Because if you check, we have independent commissions that were formed in 2013. Up until now, the National Peace and Reconciliation Commission hasn't fully been operational, yet we are getting into elections where issues of national healing, reconciliation, and national healing reconciliation have not been addressed. So they need first to align the laws and implement the current Constitution before starting to tearing the Constitution.
Thank you. Any addition? Okay. I noted here. The first one is the issue of the timing. We all know that 2017 is a very sensitive year because it comes just a few months general elections next year, and this makes it a very contentious issue why the government intends to amend the Constitution at this hour. Then secondly is actually the issue on the rationale that the government gave, which they say triggers the amendment process. We have realized that what it means is that the government business is subservient to the chaos within ZANU-PF that is partisan and factional in nature. Then lastly, the issue of the implications of this amendment. We also raise it because we know that the current Minister of Justice, under whose ministry this amendment is being pushed, also doubles as the Vice President of ZANU-PF and that of the state. And we all know his well-documented aspirations to succeed. Even Marx, even people in Mapanzure, they all know of his interests in the top post. So these are some of the questions which the citizen is raising with regards to this proposed amendment. I will now give colleagues the floor to do with clarifications, additions, and so forth. Over to you, colleagues. Yes. Okay.
Munofungira kuti zvamuri kuita izvi zvinobudirira here kana kuti ingoribwa hayo iri kungokura nzou ichienda kwairi kuenda?
Okay. Yeah. Noted. Thank you. Okay. Any other?
How or what mechanisms would you have wanted to be used in amending the Constitution? Because I suppose the Constitution has self-administered mechanisms on how it can be amended.
Any more questions before I give the panel the opportunity to respond? Possibly the fact that we have fewer questions shows that a lot of work was actually done, because I think the statement is self-explanatory, and as it was guided by a thorough thought process from the membership of the coalition and the airport secretariat, I think it is clear for that. Okay, I will take there two questions. The first one is on the chances of success that we foresee, then on the preferred mechanisms that we would have wanted to take.
I think we have been very clear that of the current status quo, whereby the appointments are made by the so-called juniors. And we have stated that in matters of principle and professionalism, issues of seniority do not hold water. And as such, the current constitutional obligations should just be. We are going for a school of thought that there is not need to just amend constitution, and in any case, these are just minor issues. As civic society, they are quite amendments which we require, which are democratically progressive, which are being ignored. And we feel that these piecemeal amendments, as Kumalo has said, which are meant to propel the will to power rather than the will to transformation, should be done away with, and instead concentrate, say, on issues to do with the electoral reform. That is our position.
Yeah, then the other thing possibly on the issue is civil society by nature represent the will of the people. So when we held a meeting last week, it was a consultative meeting to gather views from the vast membership of the coalition, and it was agreed by the members that for us as civil society to remain silent, the citizenry and the populace is speaking against this proposed amendment. So we are here to amplify the voice of the citizen that they've spoken against this proposed amendment. Then secondly, the issue of the timing comes in again to say the executive allowed the procedure that is in the constitution to kickstart. Then only after it had started, it had been conducted and so forth, then they came in to say they are challenging what? And they so intend to amend the constitution. And that on its own raises a number of to say, why are they now interested in this issue? The public interviews yet started. Yes. Oh.
Wabvunza nezvekuti kuhukura uchitaura zvinhu zvestatement yamunangagwa nokufura chichi similar to that, but I need to remind you, my friend, that constitutions are not made for the angels we know. Angels and devils we don't know. So in crafting a constitution, who is the president? We don't have to look at individuals, but at the principles that underlie the construction of that constitution. We want a constitution which treats both the devils and angels equally. The idea of trying to amend the constitution on the premise that someone must appoint, I think in my view is not democratic. But going back to your question, that will you be successful or not? That this constitution that we have of the benevolence of the state, it was not born out of the benevolence of some. It was born out of the benevolence of men and women who constituted themselves as the National Constitutional Assembly. fight to come up with this document. So yes, the life of the regime in Zimbabwe, if you look at the history of this country, for instance, from 1923, since the responsible government in 1923, is very long. So there can be that tendency to say that nothing will change, will continue to rule. But history tells us that there has never been a regime that is a matter of history. An example of a government that has been there since, we will not find one. So it may not be today, it may not be tomorrow morning. But surely as the sun rises from east and sets in the west, it will be constant that happens. So it will happen. It will change. This constitution that we have was born out of a struggle by men and women, not because of the benevolence of Zanu, or the benevolence of President Mugabe, or the benevolence of Mnangagwa, but because citizens stood up, fought until there was this constitution that was. And when certain things that are not in line with the aspirations of the people, the generality of the people, come into being, they will always be fought. The fruits may not be in your lifetime or in my lifetime, but surely if something is legitimate, it is sure to die.
Thank you, Doc. And just to members that this is not the only action that we are going to take as civil society. As I speak, already Beatrice Mtetwa has made a court challenge challenging this proposed amendment. Then there are other actions like petitioning Parliament that we are going to take both as the coalition and individual member institutions that are to the coalition. Then a number of civil actions will also be taken against this proposed amendment. So we feel that our chances of success are very high. What we don't know is when are we going to succeed, but in terms of succeeding, we know as masses we are going to succeed.
And I also wanted to come in to also categorically state that as a civic society, we are the voice of reason. We should be able to challenge inconsistencies in democracy. And, if we ask ourselves whether we succeed or not, at that rate, we end up even asking ourselves, which is an extension of civil society, whether our stories will have impact, because we seek to have the same goals to ensure that we have a citadel of peace, democracy, and all those pretty sounding words.
I will take
yes. Actually, my question was not answered. I said, what are the preferred mechanisms for constitutional amendments? And that has not been answered. I think you are conflating it with the appointment of the CJ. I understand and I make that a very distinct question, which is different, and I would want it addressed here. But what methods, if people think that the Constitution, at whatever moment, that is no longer serving in their interest, how could they address those issues by amending the document? What is your preferred form of amending such a document? Okay,
thank you very much, my brother. As civil society, our position is very clear. The government should not at this point amend the Constitution. You should look who's pushing for the amendments. It's a factional battle within ZANU-PF. So as civil society, our position is very clear. No to amending the Constitution right now. And on top of that, why amend without aligning all the laws?
These piecemeal amendments